Aloha mai kākou. E kamamaita curtain call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. If it's Christmas, then it's Nutcracker time. Two of our dance academies present their versions of the holiday tradition with music by Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky and original choreography by Marius Petipa and Lev Ivanov in 1892. It was adapted from the E.T.A. Hoffman 1816 short story, The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. It made its American debut in 1954 in an adaptation by George Balanchine and the New York City Ballet, and since has become a staple of ballet companies across America, earning 40% of their annual budgets from its performance. Here on Maui, we are blessed with two companies that present productions of this holiday masterpiece, Momentum Dance Maui and Alexander Academy Performing Company. Momentum has a Nutcracker Lite. It comes in at about 50 minutes. They call it Nutcracker Suites. It is a further adaptation of the original. No prince, no battle, no mouse king, and the dances that had countries attached to them are now only suites. Chocolate, danced beautifully by Dakota Welch. Marzipan, led by the technically excellent Quinn McCarty. Coffee, Sasha Brown Rush with Analea Calder and Megan Utrio, are lovely. Tea with Sena Yamazaki, and Point. The story has been changed further as Clara, the wonderfully charismatic Oakley Thomas, on opening night, and a third generation of performing Romeros, Lucia, Camille's daughter, was Clara in the final two performances, sees the mischievous Frau Drosselmeyer, the elegant Marcy Smith, abscond with her treasured Nutcracker, and pursues her to the land of snow and sweets. She chases her around the world until the Sugar Plum Fairy convinces Frau Drosselmeyer to return the treasure to Clara, and we live happily ever after. Momentum Dance Maui has a plethora of well-known choreographers, including Ali Paneo, Camille Romero, Jackie Dowsett, Katie Higuchi, and the legendaries Kathleen McKean and Kathleen Schulz. Of course, Ms. Schulz also did the gorgeous costumes with assistance from Sam Maxwell as well as Mocha and Sasko Brown. The show was directed by Ms. Higuchi and Ms. McKeon, listed as artistic director. This year, there were 3 dancers in the company and Point. Besides Ms. Yamazaki, there was very nice work from Kamina Becker as the Snow Queen in the wake scene between she and Ms. Thomas, choreographed by Ali Paneo, and the beautiful Land of Snow, choreographed by Ms. Paneo and her mother, Ms. McKeon. In the first act, one of the 3 Harlequins, Megan Utrio, was in Point. Hopefully in the future, more of the company will be proficient in Point as well. All of the other dances were on demi-point, including Waltz of the Flowers with Makeda Wilmoth as Dewdrop, and Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, performed as if she were on point by Sonoy Aganos. The angels are always adorable, and the gigantic Mother Ginger, the limitlessly talented Tina Kailaponi, who disgorges her bonbons from beneath her humongous gown, is always an audience favorite. Several of the cuties performed acrobatics before being shooed back under Mother Ginger's voluminous gown. The opening with the Stahlbaums, Aaron Pardini and Laura Vo, was raucous, but after the guests departed, Mr. Pardini did an uncredited solo with Ms. Vo that, given the dearth of males, was a real treat. This is their 3rd production of Nutcracker Suites, and it will be fun to see how the work matures over the coming years. Alexander Academy Performing Artsʼ production of the Nutcracker at the Castle Theater of the Maui Arts and Cultural Center revealed just how world-class this organization is. Finally, the audience was able to see what the outstanding training and choreographic skills of the team at this important arts organization is doing. The size of the Castle Theater stage allows Alexander Academy to field their entire corps de ballet of 20 dancers. It was breathtaking. The quality of both Waltz of the Flowers, with the wonderful Adele Fabio featured soloist as the Dewdrop Fairy, and Waltz of the Snowflakes, with choreography by Absalom Figueroa, was somewhere between astonishing and astounding. Every moment was like a Pulitzer Prize-winning photo. The beauty on that stage was at once tears and spontaneous, wild ovation-inducing. The other element contributing to the world-class experience the packed Saturday evening audience had was the costumes by Jennifer Oberg and her 36 local member costume shop and her 20-member visiting volunteers. Every costume was custom fit for every dancer, even the keiki. The trousers on the soldiers in the first act battle scene were like couture. The party scene brought the audience back to the 19th century with glorious gowns and fashionable suits for the gents. The outfits on the party children were just as custom fit as the adults. I particularly liked the purple colored choice for Herr Drosselmeyer's Absalom Figueroa cape. It transformed him from a traditionally dark character to one of your weird uncle. Amelia Nelson, the company's co-artistic director, was responsible for staging the entire Act One. There were 29 performers in the party scene, not counting the 3 toy dolls. Just getting them on stage is a win, but to have them truthfully involved and then be prepared for the myriad of dances in the first act is beyond mind-boggling. As Clara, Saul Bridgeford was confident and clearly having the time of her life. The first act is most demanding for her, and she acquitted herself famously. Her foil brother, Fritz, Isabel Santiago, was equally up to the task. The real dancing started with the aforementioned toy dolls. Ms. Nelson choreographed the lovely Harlequin doll, Dance with Panache, by Geneviève Kermode. The other 2 toys, Columbine, Alea Cantor-Charles, and the soldier, Kewen Imlay, were choreographed by the co-artistic director of Adaptations Dance Theater, Hallie Hunt. These both highlighted the dancers' outstanding skill and difficulty of their work. Toward the conclusion of the soldier dance, Ms. Imlay lost her point and crashed to the floor, but as if she were inflatable, she bounced up and didn't miss a beat. The Prince, Joseph Hernandez, is their annual mainland male import. Due to the lack of male dancers here, Mr. Hernandez played all of his parts and saved his best for last when he and the Sugar Plum Fairy, Sidney Rubugio, performed their show-stopping concluding pas de deux and solos. His lifts were, for the most part, clean and effortless. One of the real handicaps for these young ladies is they get so little time to partner with the male they are to dance with in these performances. I wish the dance academies would aggressively recruit boys to address this ongoing issue. The star of the first act was Sky Rosenblad's Snow Queen. This young lady has been rising in the ranks of this school since she was a child, and it is thrilling to watch her growth. Her point work was needle perfect, and her lines, as well as her extensions, particularly her kicks, were plumb line straight. The second act opening of The Angels brought the little ones to the stage. These are 3- and 4-year-olds. Always an audience favorite, the Castle Theater seemed to be a little much for them, as several of the little adorables were catatonic, causing the leader angels to do their best to encourage the little ones to recall their training and rehearsal to the delight of the audience. Then the Sugar Plum Fairy, Ms. Rubugio, did Marius Petipa's 19th century classic choreography. This exploration of the great choreographer of the past gave the audience the opportunity to appreciate the excellence of Alexander's choreographic team. Alexander also removed the countries from the next group of dances. Coffee, danced by Sierra Berrigan, Alea Phillips, Sunny Rajesh, choreographed by Audrey Billups, was spectacular. Done on point, the trio worked together beautifully and created unforgettable images. Also the Candy Canes, Ella Kraft, Layla Gooding, Kewen Imlay, and Geneviève Kermode, choreographed by Mr. Figueroa, were a top-notch quartet. I particularly loved the crossing in front of each other they did in point. Ms. Hunt appeared next as the ginormous smiling Mother Ginger. From under her immense skirt came 13 energetic and acrobatic young dancers who appeared to be having the most fun of their young lives. Alexander Academy Performing Arts was able to fill the Castle Theater for 2 performances. The combined shows had more than 100 dancers. They are the premier ballet training institution here, and the Castle Theater, or the Kay Kauliki Performing Arts Center, should be their permanent home. They need the big stage, and I hope they would consider partnering with members of the Pops next year and perform to live music. Wouldn't that be great? Watch for their Swan Lake in 2024 spring. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo for joining me. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Mele kaliki maka e haoli makahiki ho.